Okay, so today I'm going to show you the maneuver with the MSC Alanya, a container vessel of 328 meters long. And we're going to Deurganckdok. We'll have to swing at the entrance and then back up about 1 mile to the berth, docking port side.
Als hij nog
2.
een dikke meter vooruit kan schaven, is dat prima. Een hele meter, oké. Schaak, half schaak.
Okay, so you're seeing an image of my PPU, portable pilot unit. You'll see the vessel and you'll see some contours in front of it. That's a prediction with a 30-second interval. You'll also see my tugboats approaching. And on the left-hand side, you'll get some information about the ship. So you'll see in the center, you'll see a blue square indicating the longitudinal speed through overground, sorry. The top blue square is the lateral movement of the bow, so in the speed. So if it's going to starboard, you'll see a green arrow. If it's going to port, you'll see a red arrow. Same thing on the bottom, you'll have the lateral movement of the stern. Same principle as above. Above the main square, blue square, you'll see a number, sometimes with rotating green dots or rotating red dots. That's actually the rate of turn. So that's how many degrees per minute my vessel is turning. Green to the starboard side, red to the port side. Just above the bottom blue triangle, you'll see three numbers. Left hand side, that's the heading of the vessel, so where it's pointing. Course of the ground, center number, that's where she's actually going. And the right hand side, again, speed over ground for the whole vessel. Rest of the numbers, not so important at this moment. Okay, so let's speed up a little bit till we have our aft tugboat fast.
Ja, is goed zo. Door 6 over de grond is goed.
Okay, so the aft tugboat just reported that he's made fast. He's gonna lengthen his tow line now, and then I'm gonna ask him to reduce the speed to about 6 knots over ground. Now, you have to take into account that we have a ebb tide, so the current is against the vessel, which means that if my speed is 6 knots over ground, I'm actually doing about 7.8 in this case through the water. So there's a difference between speed through the water and speed over ground. For maneuvering, speed through the water is actually the most important one. So, but since my dead slow of this vessel, so basically you got 4 settings on the engines. Well, 5 basically. So it's stop, dead slow ahead, half ahead, and full ahead for maneuvering, and the same going astern. Now, the dead slow speed of this vessel is 9 knots, which is quite a lot. That's a very high dead slow speed. So the only option then to slow down is to stop the engine, but that means that my propeller will stop turning and I don't get or less water pressure on the rudder. So if the speed through the water reduces, then I will also lose steering. So the only way to maintain steering is at least to have some rotation on the propeller. But that means putting it on that slow, which gives me a minimum speed of 9 knots. So I'm going to have to use the aft tugboat to slow me down. And I've already warned him that since the dead slow is 9 knots, it might be difficult and he'll have to pull quite hard. Okay, so here the aft tugboat is letting me know that he's pulling at max power and his winch is starting to slip. So that means for safety reasons, I will have to stop my propeller. So I'll have to put the engine on stop. This will allow the tugboat to reduce my speed. I'll have to keep an eye on the steering, that I don't lose steering. Um, so at this point, engine will stop. I'm just moving ahead and having my aft tugboat try and reduce my speed. Okay, so we're approaching
Yeah,
the
yeah, they
entrance
will.
of
Just the first one will
Deurganckdok.
go. The rest will wait.
This is the place where we'll have to swing the ship around and basically back her up into the dock. Now, you have to remember there's an ebb tide, so the plan is for me to actually sail as close to the southern corner as possible, or at least get close to it, and then start swinging over port side. The aim is to get the vessel a little bit out of the current. You'll see the demarcation line indicated here on the map where there's no current. So I'll bring the vessel sort of just below that demarcation line, start swinging over port side, and what will happen is the bow will get back into the
Stop
ebb
engine.
tide, and it'll actually help me swing over port side. So I'm not going to use the forward tug
Kodiak, je
or
mag
even
een
the bow
klein beetje
thruster too
over
much,
stuurboord komen.
just a little bit to assist, but the majority of it will be done actually by the current.
Ik heb machine gestopt.
The aft tug will also help
Bow
me
full to
swing my
starboard.
stern in, and I'll have to keep an eye on the fact that if I get too much into the current again, my ship will get perpendicular on the current, and the current will basically push me all the way to the port side,
420.
to the northerly side of the dock. And if you know anything about ships, you know if you fall
Hard port.
perpendicular to the current, there's not a lot you
Bow
can
50
do.
precies.
Even with tugboats, it's a lot of force to counteract, and even with tugboats,
Ja,
it's
ja, ja,
hard
ja.
to
Ja, ja.
maintain the vessel in position. So once you fall perpendicular on the current, you'll have to back into the dock really quickly, otherwise you'll end up on the northerly wall. If it doesn't work, then my backup option is just to go full ahead and basically get back onto the river and sail back out to sea, basically. So if my
We
plan
will
doesn't
come quite
work,
close
swinging and backing up,
with the bow
my
because
backup
we have the
plan
current.
is full ahead,
If
port
we turn too
rudder,
quickly,
and
we end
get
up
back out, and
on
then
that side. That's why
retry
we first go quite
later.
ahead
So
and
we'll
then we
continue
will
with
swing.
this maneuver right now.
Bow 75 to starboard, please. Ja, dat is perfect zo, Kodiak. We gaan hem nog even zo naar voren laten schuiven.
Laat uit, dat meester nog eens. Alle lijnen aan de wal kunnen wij hier afsluiten, denk ik. Tot de volgende. Oké, perfect, tot de volgende. Dag.
So here you can see that I'm basically using the current and a little bit of the bow thruster and the stern tug to actually drop the vessel into the entrance. So you'll see my movement, lateral movement to the starboard side.
50 on the bow.
Laat de shark vooraan ook los, en bedankt. Goed uit. En de shark.
Stop bow.
Ja, bedankt voor de tips hier.
Dead slow ahead.
So what I just did there was I had the rudder still over to the port side, and I just put the engine on dead slow ahead. So you'll see that suddenly my stern will move in a bit faster, and I'll get a rotation to the port side. What I'm actually going to do is drop the vessel more into the
Stop engine.
entrance, and have it almost be parallel with the demarcation line of
Kodiak,
the
jij mag langzaam
current.
dwars uit dienen vallen. Dead slow astern. Yes, at the moment just keep hard to port. Slow astern. Bow 75 to port. Yeah. Kodiak, als jij dwars uit ligt, hoeveel staat jij erin?
Momenteel nog niet los, maar ik ben ermee.
Ja, begint er maar aan.
Hallo.
Dead slow astern. Stop engine.
And you'll see here I end up basically on the demarcation line of the current. Above it, we have the ebb tide. Just below the demarcation line, there's almost no current. So I'm basically just on that line, and if I bring the bow to port, my bow will come back into the current.
Amber, jij mocht zo rustig
So I would
volgen,
suggest,
maar blijven
while I'm doing this
stukken.
maneuver, to keep an eye on the rate of turn there on the left-hand side. You'll see it'll increase when I bring the bow into the current, and later on, just have a look at it when I'm putting the engine astern. Now, I have a right-handed propeller. That means if I go astern, it's going to start turning anti-clockwise, and it's going to throw a lot of water against the stern of the vessel on the starboard side, which means it's actually going to reduce my rate of turn. So keep an eye on it and listen to the engine orders I give and see the results on the rate of turn.
Ja, van de MSC Alanya voor de binnenvaart ligt te wachten. Als ze gatjes zien, mogen ze naar buiten. Hè. En Kodiak, dan moet jij zo wat 4 streken en hoekje van 45 graden. Dead slow astern. And now we have to go all the way to the back.
Ik had thuis centrale brandvliet vragen wat is de bestemming? Nee, dat zijn dan gaan we nu op een stuk op rond en dan maakt hij het even waar dus dat we weg zijn voordat je hem deed.
And slow astern.
Ja, en voor de onion en de gerechtjes centrale brandvliet tussen. U mag op stroom komen nu. We hebben wel eenmaal opvaart. Dan moet je doen in de voorkant. Die gaat verder door ook het stiefslaan.
En Kodiak, zodra dat je zo in het midden zit, dan gewoon recht naar rechter. Je moet helemaal naar rechter.
So you'll see how my rate of turn decreased quite dramatically once I gave the engine order.
Dead slow astern. Bow 50 to port, please. Kodiak mag nog iets meer dwars komen. Stop engine. Ja, Kodiak kan nog eens even dwars liggen. Ik heb nog een eeuwig schroefeffect en met een draai komt er in de direct uit. Stop bow. We can go on the bridge wing, Captain. Midship. Okay, Kodiak, richting South.
Okay, so that's basically the swing, and now I'm gonna speed up the video till the next point of interest.
En ik wil u aan het aftrekken naar niet.
Ah, ik denk dat jij dat hebt. We gaan anders.
Ja, weet.
So here I heard my colleague on the MSC Kyungmin moored there on my port side, who's about to leave. I heard him call the tugboat and say, "Hey, are you doing something? My stern is coming off." Tugboat said he wasn't doing anything. And then I called him and said, "Hey, Ari, who's the pilot on that ship," I said, "I think I'm pulling you off," which basically means there's interaction between my vessel and his vessel. So that's the hydrodynamic forces working from my vessel passing him, and I'm actually pulling him off the berth. Okay, and let's speed up again. Okay, and here we're approaching the berth. I'll have to back her in and basically moor about 50 meters from the MSC Montaigne in front of me. So here I'm using the tug I had on forward. I released it quite early on, backing up, and I'll have the tugboat, the Amber, stand by on my starboard side aft for pushing, so it can push the stern in. The Kodiak, the vessel, the tugboat, still attached to my stern. I can keep that standby to maybe slow down my approach speed. So if my stern is getting too fast, too close to the berth, I can have the Kodiak reduce my approach speed.
Dead slow ahead. En we gaan met dat remmen. Amber 50.
Nee, 120 achteruit.
120 achteruit. 120 meters. Ja.
Nou, ja, 100 achteruit.
150 aan de bouw. Hij is volledig gestopt. Everything you mean? Kodiak, je was volledig gestopt, hè? Ja, correct.
Wanneer 60 bedankt voor de zondag en een goede wacht op. Wanneer dat dan? 60.
60. 20 meters astern. Ja, Kodiak helemaal gewoon stand-by on stuurboord van even veel. Ja, perfect, thank you. Stop engine.
Ja, 70 achteraan.
40. 40 meters astern. 5% on the bow. Ja. Stop bow. Number question.
20 achteraan.
20 achteraan. 20 meters astern. Amber stoppen. About 21 meters. Yeah.
Alanya, dat was positie.
Positie. That's slow ahead. That's slow ahead. This is about position, Captain. About 25 to starboard, please. Yeah. Amber question. 50 to starboard. Stop engine. You have to go about 10 meters ahead again, so. Yeah, I know. Sorry. 25. The bridge is in between 181 and 80, so. Yeah. About 25 to port, please.
Alanya, dat is positie.
Positie. This is position, Cap. 50 to starboard. 50 to port on the bow, please. Amber stoppen. dadelijk uitgevolgd. Hè. Stoppen. Voor de andere stop. Ja. I know, it's already stopped. And I have one tugboat ready to pull Kodiak even koppeling naar buiten.
Mijn Kodiak.
Ja. Oké, dat is. Ja, denk ik.
Kodiak onder een hoekje van 40 graden, 4 meter maar. No, I have the tugboat going and making a little bit angle. Okay, Kodiak stoppen. Stop out. Stop out, hè. Stop, 50 stop. Ja, oké. Kodiak, just to keep the stern, please. Even de kopje achteruit. 5 meter de stern. En nummer koppelingspunt duwen. Okay, easy on the bow, Captain, easy on the bow. 25 on the starboard. Yep. Yeah, slowly. 5 meters astern.
So we're almost in position, and with container vessels, it's always important to be in the right position. They'll want the crane drivers to know which bay. They have the numbers on the key side, so the position is very important. So in the end, you're
50
always
on the
like
bow to
4
starboard.
meters astern, 3 meters astern, 2
Yep.
meters ahead. It's always trying to find a balance. The wind is pushing you back. The tugboats have still a little bit of an effect. So it's always finding this balance and eventually trying to get into position using the mooring lines, using a little bit of the engines, but in the end get there. So I want to thank you for joining me on this little adventure, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more maneuvering.